My name is Lucy Flores. I am a full-time attorney and I'm also a legislator serving in the Nevada Assembly, representing Assembly District 28. The American dream, I think, means the same to me as it means for most people. It means achieving success. It means achieving, prosperity. It means achieving some sort of happiness, whatever happiness that may be to you. But more than anything, I think it's about accessibility. It's about being able to pursue whatever it is that you're interested in pursuing. I think that my perception of it has definitely changed in terms of accessibility, based on my background, where I came from, going through a lot of challenges and having to go above and beyond to get to or try to achieve this American dream. I think that it's not as accessible as people seem to think that it is. That the American dream is very slowly being eroded away, that it really is a dream that people might not ever achieve, and I don't think that that's really what it has stood for all of these years. And so I think that my perception really has changed in terms of the reality of actually achieving the quote-unquote American dream. So, growing up, I grew up in a really low-income community, a single-parent household. At one point had food stamps and other types of social services, and just really struggled as a family to make ends meet, and we were really poor. And so I think that my perception of the American dream was really what I saw on TV and what we generally think of as the American dream, which is kind of the traditional middle class family, or middle class living. It's owning a home, it's having a successful job, it's a career, school. But those types of things didn't feel like they were for me. It was I knew what the American dream was, but it was more like things that I saw on TV as opposed to something that would actually ever be something that I could accomplish. My American dream is very much living a successful career, whether that's as an attorney or in politics, but it's really giving back too. It's really ensuring that what I was able to achieve, that others can too. And that's my American dream. But I guess to me the American dream is about having options, and it's about having real options, so that my success is only limited by the amount of energy that I'm willing to put forward. My American dream is very broad and it's very general, but I think that everyone's American dream should be that way. Education absolutely is critical in developing those skills and getting that experience and meeting people and networking and all of those things that really lead to success and achieving your dreams. It's absolutely critical. For me, it was absolutely everything. It's 100% linked to where I'm at right now. I dropped out of high school, but had it not been for different people who came into my life in a succession of events that eventually got me to the point where I said, maybe higher ed, maybe college, school is an option for me. I never really believed that was something for me, and it took a couple of years to really foster that idea in me, and even for me to have confidence within myself, to think that I could even compete in such an environment. And so had it not been for these different things, me deciding to go back to school, working really hard, transferring out to the University of Southern California, pursuing law school and finishing law school, all of these different things, all of those, what I believe has been formative in my years, what has led me to now, really all happened in that process. It happened in going to community college. It happened absolutely at USC. USC is one of the most amazing things that's ever happened to me, and the opportunities that I had, and just my development and growth, and what I learned, and civic engagement, and everything that, like I said, has led me up to here. has absolutely been based on me getting educated. Well, to a certain extent, what motivated me really was that idea of achieving something different, of achieving the American dream. It wasn't that simple. It wasn't like I woke up one day and said, hey, I think I want something better for myself. It was a series of events that occurred over several years. From the time that I was released from long-term detention facility where I had been sent to, was put on parole, and fortunately was put on parole with an incredible woman who, is the other reason why I'm here. And then after that, despite the fact that I dropped out of high school, she at least helped set me on a better path. And so I think that it was these series of events where I first decided I don't want this for me. I don't want to be in prison the rest of my life. But I don't necessarily know how to go about achieving anything different. And I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do when I get out, given the same environment, the same friends, the same family, the same everything, to change it for myself. But at the very least, I had an idea that there was something different out there. And so that was like that first moment that I really said to myself, I can't come back here. But then it was really a series of, I think, fortunate events, and it shouldn't. That's what kind of that's what feeds my idea that it should be about equal opportunity and your own God-given ability, and not a series of fortunate events, where it was for me because I had these really great people come into my life and kind of put me on a different trajectory. And so it was that first moment, and then it was me having Leslie Williams, my parole officer, come into my life, and another event where, she could have chosen to revoke my parole, but she didn't. And she did it, and she made sure that I knew that she didn't, because she understood that I was a good kid in a bad situation. And so it was really, like I said, a couple of different succession of really important moments that led me to here. But yeah, I think that I did get to a point where I absolutely knew that that's not what I wanted, but I didn't know how to get anywhere else. It's very critical. I think that it's easier said than done when you tell someone to pick themselves up by their bootstraps when they don't even know what bootstrap is. People need support, they need guidance, they need to be taught, and they need to have a skill set developed. No one just wakes up one day and knows how to research colleges. My main motivation behind running for office really was this idea that if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. So for me, really getting involved was more of my obligation, to do for others what was done for me. But in addition to that, the sister issue when it comes to education is economic development and the creation of jobs, and for Nevada particularly diversifying our economy so that we're not so based on gaming and tourism, which is where the majority of our taxes actually come from. Putting your eggs in one basket is never a smart thing, regardless of what you're doing. So, why would that make sense for a state? For me personally, a priority to empower people. It's not about give outs, handouts, giveaways. It's not about that. To me, it just really boggles my mind when people want to cut education and they want to cut, job retraining programs, and it's just a crazy thing to me. So.
It's very simple. It's never give up. Despite all of the odds, despite all of the challenges, you can achieve whatever it is that you want to, and sometimes achieve things that you never dreamed were possible. Things outside of even what you think is that American dream.